Well, hey, everybody. Dr. Sherry here. It's great to be with you guys today. And I have been waiting. I love the information I'm presenting to you today. Why? Because I love you. And I feel like there's some things that we miss. And I am here to fortify you. I'm here to smartify you. I'm here to really help you sort through what you're looking at. And that's why I'm doing this talk today on, is he a narcissist or a sociopath? Because I have so many people ask me about that question. I am Dr. Sherry Keffer. I'm just grateful that you're here. Now, some of you watched me last week, and I just want to say hi to everybody that was here with me last week when I asked the question and did a talk on, do you have PTSD from sexual betrayal? I unpacked a ton of different symptoms that often go with post-traumatic stress disorder or post-traumatic stress symptoms and sexual betrayal. And right now you can watch it. If you missed it, just go to the YouTube channel under Dr. Sherry Keffer, and you can take a peek at it there and kind of catch up with some of what I'm sharing with you. I want to say hey to my Brave One community gals that are here today. Now, others of you might be here for the first time because maybe you have been seeing me on Facebook lately saying, hey, I'm going to do a talk on this, or somebody might have sent you an email. If somebody sent you an email, it's because they love you and they want you to get this information. Some of you may have just heard about me some other way, and this might be the first time that you're here. But whether you're here and you've heard me before or just today, I want to say welcome. I want to share with you, and this is with permission of a gal that I talk with. She allowed me to share this. I'm changing her name for her sake, but Janice, let's say Janice, she reached out to me and say, hey, Dr. Sherry, I listened to you and your talk last week and on betrayal trauma. She said, I've been married for 18 years and I haven't honestly known what to do. She said, my body has had so many of the symptoms that you talked about last week. I've been seeing doctors for a long time trying to figure everything out. And she said, my adrenals are shot. I thought it was me. My husband and I have been going to marriage counseling for 2.5 years. We've been told it's an attachment issue. It's an issue in our coupleship and a problem with communication. And we've spent a ton of money. And we like our therapist, but it wasn't until last week that I thought, it's not about me. It's not even about communication. It's about sexual deception that's been a part of our relationship. Bravo to you. I want you to know that was good insight. And I want to help you, right? She said, I need your help. And I said, okay, stay with me. I've got some stuff that I know can help you and your relationship. And I think my hope is to give you courage that you don't have to stay in whatever situation you're in right now, as far as living in the land of crazy. But I'm tired how you've been hurt and how your families are being hurt. And I want to help her and I want to help you. I am a doctor of marriage and family therapy, and I'm a trauma specialist. I've been doing this for over 22 years. I actually specialize in partner betrayal trauma and also working with those who compulsively sexually act out. I'm the author of the book, Intimate Deception, Healing the Wounds of Sexual Betrayal. If you haven't gotten a copy of it, just check it out on Amazon, read some of the reviews. And if it's something that you think you might be interested in, I encourage you to buy it. There's a ton of information in there. I'm the founder of the Brave One community. And I know some of you gals are here with me today. I have a private community where I care for women who have been sexually betrayed. It's a world of support. There's care, there's guidance, and I help women get out of that crazy making and get strong so that you can begin to manage and face what you're living with. Today, we're going to be looking at one important question, and it's, is he a narcissist or a sociopath? Now, a reminder, care for yourself. Some of the stuff might be triggering today that I'm bringing, but also I want you to know that this is a public page. This is a public Facebook Live. So those of you that work with me privately, just know your comments might be seen. But if you want to just direct message me, private message me, I'll be happy to answer questions because I'm going to be doing at the end. I want to make sure to answer as many questions as I can, and I'm going to keep your name confidential. I've got a free download today. I know it's going to be a download you can use right now to help you hold on to yourself when somebody is manipulating you, somebody is lying to you, or you're not sure if they're lying to you, but it's going to help you today. Is he a narcissist or sociopath? Now, a lot of sexually betrayed partners reach out to me and they say, I think my husband is a narcissist, maybe a sociopath, maybe he's even a pathological liar. And the truth is, he may be in one of those categories. It's so confusing to know what you're looking at when deception is in the mix. But I want you to know, I have worked with those, like I said, are sexually betrayed. I've worked with narcissists over the years, and I've even had a few sociopaths. It can be incredibly scary when you're working with someone who's a sociopath, and even kind of eerie and insidious. Like my skin crawls when I begin to put the pieces together of what's going on in somebody's world. But I think the best way to start today is by peeling back the layers of what you're seeing to help you actually figure some things out today in the next few minutes. Now, let me just start by giving a disclaimer. Sometimes we can mislabel the person we're with. And it's easy to do that. Let me tell you why. There's so much information out there. Now, that's a good thing. There's so much information out there, but it can be overwhelming, and we can watch something on the internet or maybe read a book or watch a podcast and we're like, that's it. That's exactly who that person is, right? But I want to kind of take you behind the scenes today. I want to show you what I think might be going on and help you look at some behaviors in those different categories. So first, let me help us take a quick look at someone who is sexually acting out. When it comes to serial cheating, people that are acting out, those are compulsively sexually acting out in some way. I know I was married to Connor. There was pornography, affairs, prostitutes, the whole gamut. There could be a porn addiction. There might be a sex addiction. There could be a number of things. But often behaviors, when those things are going on, there's behaviors on the surface. You might be experiencing in your relationship selfishness on the other side, or entitlement, or they're very defensive, or they're cold. They might seem aloof or angry. They might be self-righteous. They might be arrogant, secretive, just to name a few of the things. Now, I've actually had people come in with photos of their husbands, the spouse that was acting out, and it could be either way. I know I have men watching me right now. You're here because your wife or significant other has acted out, right? It happens on both sides. Today, I'm going to be talking more about my research and females, right? But don't take it personally. It's whoever it is, that spouse or significant other, when they're deep in an affair or deep in sexually acting out, they look different, and they do. There's just this picture, and they'll go, this is them. And I'm like, oh, wow. Like, I've had other partners who betrayed partners who say to me, we're best of friends. We do everything together. And I had no idea that he was sexually acting out with someone else. Once that person, no matter how they're behaving on the surface, gets into healthy, good recovery and sobriety, and they get sexually safe and sober, they get out from underneath the lies that they've been telling you. Once they're sexually safe and they're living in honesty and integrity, often that gaslighting stops. The anger begins to soften and change, and even the narcissism and abuse begins to fall away, because it was really about sexual acting out and deception. But after all that, they're safe and sober. If they continue to show patterns of narcissism, then you know what? It may be some deeper issues. There may be some characterological issues that are going on that absolutely need to be addressed. Most men actually know that they've caused you pain. They see the hurt on your face. They see us bleeding out. We're hurting. And they notice you when you're angry or you pull away. But this is the deal. He doesn't understand why you don't just want to be near him and quickly get over it or move on past whatever you have discovered. Now, when they think the one who's betrayed you thinks about facing the pain that they've caused because it's because of their behaviors that you're hurting, some different men panic. And when they panic, what does that look like? Right? They blame you, they unplug, some of them move into self-hatred, others gaslight you, which is actually psychological abuse. Gaslighting is when somebody actually makes you wrong or bad or tells you you're crazy, but over here, they're hiding some deceptive behavior. Some may act out more, some may even become more abusive. So even though your husband may not initially say that he's responsible for what he's done, more often than not, he's running away from three things. Now, it could be one of these, but it could be all of the above. He's running away from the exposure and the shame. He's running away from taking ownership over what he's done to you. And he's running away from feelings of failure because he's blown it, right? But how men move through the sexual betrayal is a whole different issue. And it usually falls into one of four different categories. And I want you to think about which one of these categories might be yours. There's men, those who get it, men that are willing to own what they've done, do the hard work to repair and recover, both themselves and your relationship. The second type of men are those who don't get it. Men who may temporarily start out like in denial because they don't really understand that porn hurts us. And they just have minimized it all their life, right? And I say this all the time when I'm working with those who compulsively sexually act out, it's my job to wake them up. But then as I'm waking them up, this is what I've realized. They're awake. They're not in denial anymore. They're actually in deception. They know what they're doing. Now, so there are those that get it, like they're awake. They know they're deceiving you, but men that are now in active deception, that's the third category. They're afraid of coming clean and hurting you, and probably most importantly, losing you. So they tell themselves things like this is, I need to protect her. I need to protect her from knowing. I don't want to hurt her. I'm going to take this to my grave. That's self-deception on their part. And then the fourth kind of one who acts out is those that don't want to get it. Like they know what they're doing and they're making choices, ongoing choices to deceive you, but they're in what's called sexual entitlement. They don't want to change. So I want you to think about those categories. Those that are sexually entitled, they want to keep you and their reputation comfortably intact while they continue to act out. That is an integrity issue. There's an integrity disorder that's going on at the same time that there's a compulsive sexual acting out issue going on. So again, they need to be in good treatment for what's going on. Now, watching how your spouse or significant other, how they deal with your requests that are clear to recover and to become sober and all that is going to shed light on which category they're in. I'm going to be answering some questions, so please just ask them and I'll get to y'all at the end. So now let me take a moment to just talk about qualities of narcissism. What does it look like if somebody is narcissistic? Now, narcissism is on a spectrum. right? There's narcissistic traits all the way to NPD, which is narcissistic personality disorder. Narcissism comes from abandonment issues that go real deep, but what all that does is it creates a distorted reality in them, and they bounce between being a victim and entitlement. When you don't give them what they want, you will see that bounce between victim and entitlement. So there's two categories of narcissism. There's overt and covert. Now, overt narcissists, there's power struggles. It's obvious. They're out there. They don't care what you think. They yell. They're emotionally abusive. You see how they treat you and your family and other people out there in the world, right? They lie about you and others to make themselves look good. They can be rageful, physically abusive, hurtful. Now, covert narcissists, these are more the silent, deadly, silent but deceptive types. Their desire for power is more hidden. It's more insidious. It includes like passive aggressive, acting out, ways of manipulating you. Yet they betray themselves as this good person to the world. They're seen in a positive light, and they want people to actually look up to them and like them. They're leaders of communities. They're leaders in churches or synagogues. They're on boards. They're physicians. They're respected professionals in their field. They can be nice and charming, and everybody loves them. So it's incredibly confusing because they act like that in the world, but then they demean you or devalue you in private. It's a sneaky way of having control. It's like they're dormant volcanoes that just like have this hidden control and rage. But they're actually scripted actors, and they blame you, and they have this false humility. They can actually go into therapy and learn therapeutic tools and the therapy language, but then use it against you in order to get power. Now, 7 traits of narcissism. I'm going to just tick these off. Elevated sense of importance. There's arrogance. They believe that they're unique, important, special. The second one. Third one is there's a strong need for admiration. They're looking for people who can be their supply or their admirer. Number 4, they lack empathy. In fact, if you threaten to expose them or leave them, the gloves are off, and they often threaten to hurt you or bury you. So they create this fear and dependency in us. Number 5, there's a strong sense of entitlement. They deserve to be treated better than others. Number 6 is they despise your strength. When you show signs of strength or your beautiful traits, it's a challenge to them, and it's often game on. They don't like to lose. And number 7, they're unwilling to notice and actually understand how others are feeling. It's all about them. When I think of these traits, it makes me think of the movie Wizard of Oz with the great and powerful Oz and Dorothy and her friends, right? But Toto did something very interesting. When they were all scared, about the guy that was the big green face guy, Toto went and pulled back the curtain. And what was behind the curtain? It was a man who was moving a bunch of dials. It was a wizard, but even when he was trying, pay no attention to the man behind the curtain, right? There was just this guy that was moving all these parts. Well, let me just say this. In the work I do, I've been able to do some trauma work with those that are on the spectrum of narcissism. And I want to show you through mason jars what I discovered. Now, I have 2 mason jars. This one is like a jar of eyeballs, and I want you to know it represents you. It represents people, places, and things that they are acquiring or have acquired in order to make themselves feel better. Well, why? Because this is actually how they feel about themselves. Now, can you see this mason jar? In the very bottom, I have 1 ping pong ball, and it's covered with a bunch of manure. Now, that manure represents shame. It represents beliefs about themselves that they would never let you know, and in your relationship. I found out about it behind the door, right? Working with the man behind the curtain. But all that to say, because they've got shame, trauma, all of that on top of them, they feel better when they can connect people, that they can collect people, places, and things. And that things includes you, right? Now, if you try to leave their jar for whatever reason, and I'm going to pull one of your lovely eyeballs out. So let's say you're watching me right now and you have blue eyes. If you try to leave that relationship, guess what? They're not happy about it. Because you know why? They want you in here, and they spend time assuring, kind of like a big vacuum. This is what they do. They're trying to get you back in the jar. So they're out in the world, want you back in, your kids, your house. And that's why those that sexually betray continue to act out, because they're continuing to gleam and act out with other people and porn and all that. They're just trying to fill that jar, and it's toxic and it hurts you. Now, when they want something from you, right? We talked about them getting mad if you don't give it, or you think they think you might leave, they might start love bombing you, or they might throw you away. And it's called the narcissistic discard. Now, let's talk about sociopaths, because this is a whole other type of person. And again, in 22 years, I've come across 4 that I can say were 4 true sociopaths. They don't respect the law. They actually believe they're above the law. They perform criminal acts. You might say, well, what are those? Well, they have false identities. They might use other people's social security numbers. They might set up bank accounts under dead people's names. They lie. They use others for personal gain. I mean, there are so many stories that I have in my head about these folks. They don't feel guilt or remorse for any of the things they do that damage people, damage you. They don't feel bad for harming or mistreating people. They feel like okay with it. They don't care about the safety of others or even their own safety, quite frankly. So whatever you're dealing with, this type of abuser, and I'm not saying it's sociopathic, I'm just saying on the spectrum, if you're being abused, abusers make choices, and they can make choices to hurt you. But a sociopath, like, they'll have no empathy. Narcissists will make it about themselves. And so what am I saying ultimately? I'm encouraging you to get clear-headed, do research, and get support. Now, where can you get support? I would love to be a part of that for you. I have my Brave One community, and in my community, we sort out all kinds of stuff like this, like sorting laundry, darks, lights, colors, whatever it is you're dealing with in my private space. I help you to sort through that, because I don't want you to stay confused. When you're not sure what you're looking at, I get it. It's confusing, but my goal is to help you heal. I want you to be seen and heard and to not have to hide anymore. This community is a safe place, private, where you get to sort it out with others that are sorting out and get encouraged. And actually, in my Brave One community, I go through something that I've called the Brave One journey. We get to work together, and I have been seeing for years powerful, real change. I am helping women get empowered. I am helping them grow stronger, and they're changing. So I'm going to be talking more about how you can change, right? How you don't have to tolerate what's going on, how you can become more clear-headed in a very good way. And I'm going to be doing a live private workshop called Sexual Betrayal. You have the right to say enough is enough. You don't have to live in this crazy making, right? You don't have to live with a deception. I'm going to be covering topics like how to discern whether the truth is actually being spoken or somebody is lying. I'm going to be talking about steps to protect yourself and your family. I'm actually going to be sharing in this private talk what are the 8 great signs of real change when somebody is doing the work What does it look like? I'm going to help you learn how to set boundaries so that you can feel safe again. And there is so much more. Now, you can register right now today. We're going to put a link right now in the chat section in the comments. You can go to braveone.com/join workshop. That's BRAVEONE.com/ and then JOINWORKSHOP. We're going to give it to you. And actually, you get a free gift for just registering. Again, my workshop is called Sexual Betrayal. You have the right to say enough is enough. And I'm going to be doing it twice on October 11th. Now you're going, today's the 4th. I know it's next Wednesday. It's just a week away. So I don't want you to miss it. I'm going to be doing it at 2 different times. One time is going to be at 12 noon Pacific time, and the other time is going to be at 6 p.m. Pacific time. Now you can come once, you can come twice, you can do whatever you want because it's going to be private. I'm going to be answering questions and bringing you a ton more information. But right now, I'm going to give you a very practical tool because I love hands-on practical stuff. And I promised you, it's actually called Powerful One-Liners When You Think That Someone is Lying. All you have to do to get it, you can get it right now. You can start using it today. If you think you're being manipulated or lied to, just go to braveone.com/one-liners. It's BRAVEONE.com/ONELINERS, and you're going to get it. There's got some exciting things coming down the line for you guys. I care about you. I'm tired of the harm that is being caused by sexual deception. And I want to be here to help you.